fellow educators. I have put together this PowerPoint to explain the benefits of students podcasting and how it can enhance their learning and understanding. So let's start with the basics. What is a podcast? A podcast is a digital audio file of speech, music, or broadcast material. It's made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or portable media player, and it's a series of such files or new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically. You don't need any fancy equipment or software to get started, and the process of podcasting teaches invaluable skills for students. Students can create podcasts independently or in groups, and the content of these podcasts can be absolutely anything. It could be fiction, nonfiction, it could be serious or lighthearted, and podcasts can cover a wide variety of topics and subjects such as science, current events, history, fan fiction, and storytelling. Students can create podcasts based on anything that they are interested in, something they're passionate about, or something that they just want to learn more about. And students can have creative freedom to produce their own podcasts that they are totally proud of. So they are able to produce something that they feel confident about, something that they are interested in, something they feel good about, and it gives them such a rewarding feeling if they know that the podcast they are creating is something that it's all them. These podcasts, they can be created to document information that they've gotten from experts and members of the group, to capture key information that allows students to revisit critical information, as well as using the platform to share ideas with others in a final presentation. Now, you're probably wondering, why can't students just use a PowerPoint presentation? Why do they have to create a whole podcast? Well, that's because podcasting builds skill. It gives students skills that they wouldn't normally use if they were creating a podcast. So podcasting and producing a podcast requires students to articulate an idea as they showcase their understanding and learning. And when students produce a podcast, they become problem solvers, and also they enhance their technology skills. Throughout the podcasting process, students can apply their research, writing, and verbal skills to communicate a message. And when students create their own podcasts, they act as knowledge constructors and empowered learners. And creating podcasts with students empowers learners. It initiates global connections and collaboration, and applies digital citizenship. So all three of these are part of the 7 student ISTE standards, which is going to just benefit students in the classroom as well. So most of the information that students receive is in a multimodal format, so digital, print, or visual or audio. And podcasts are tools for learning information and content. Creating podcasts for a wider audience is engaging and authentic. Sharing student-created podcasts with the world enriches the learning experience for the listeners as well as the podcast creators. And sharing podcasts with local and global audiences requires students to create a positive, safe, ethical, legal digital behavior. Producing a podcast requires students to record and edit digital content, and students are required to choose sound effects, record interviews, and include sound bites from experts to add engaging features that draw the listener's attention. And podcasting depends on creative communication. So once again, students are able to just be completely and totally independent in the creative process, and these podcasts can just become something that is their own, something that they are proud of. And so these are podcasting tips. It's the process of podcasting. So you want to start with number 1 here, picture it. And this one is to decide on the format of the podcast. For example, do you want to do an audio tour or do you want to do an interview? And then you go to 2, plan it. So you gather your research, you sketch out an outline or a script, or you get a set of interview questions ready to go. And then you record it. So you turn off any fans in the background, you remove any jewelry you might have on that might cause noise, put out a recording is in session sign, and you find a quiet place to record so that there's no background noise. Then you go to number 4, edit it. So you listen to your podcast after you've created it. You take out any mistakes and any dead air, so any just blank spaces, there's no sound. Add in any sound effects, add any background music, and then you go to 5, so you review it. So this means pretty much, does your recording meet your expectations of the goals of the assignment? If not, you're going to go back to step 2, and you're going to try that again. Does your recording have technical flaws? If it does, then you go back to 3 and you try it again. If not, and everything looks good, then you go right to step 6, which is distribute it, which means you're going to save or you're going to export your podcast to an MP3, MP4, or MP4G format. So you're just going to save it to the correct format that you need it. You're going to email it. You're going to send it off to friends. You're going to send it to family. You're going to post it online, or even burning it to a CD, which is not something that normally happens now, but you could possibly do that. And this way you have a hard copy that you can hand out to friends, family, your teachers, your peers, whoever would want to listen to it. Now you have a digital copy, and you have a hard copy to give out to whoever needs it. And then here are 2 of my favorite softwares to use to create podcasts. So this first one here, this is Audacity. This is something I have used many times now. It's a free and popular cross-platform tool. It provides basic recording functions and editing functions, but students will need to find royalty-free music, meaning they'll need to find music that's not copyrighted, that they can use if they want to add music to the back or any sort of noises. And then the second one is GarageBand. It is a free app for iOS devices, and it makes it very easy for students to capture and edit audio and to create podcasts and other audio recordings that summarize their understanding. And at the end of a lesson, it's also great for audio reflections. So after a lesson has been done, students can use this. They don't need to necessarily use GarageBand to make a podcast. They can use it just to record their thoughts as well. And that's the end of my presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And I'd love to see some of the work that you and your students do with podcasts in your classroom as the year goes on.